All right. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, all across the globe, welcome to another edition of Power Connections. I love it. And my wonderful guest today, Miss Lynnis Woods-Mullins. How you doing, Lynnis?
I'm doing great. How are you doing, Kevin?
Man, I am excited and fired up. They say if you're going to do something, do it with some excitement, and
Well,
with
I
some
I
purpose
definitely
today.
would say that there is nothing that doesn't say it just you're all about excitement. So that's great.
Hey, man, that's exactly right. It makes sense when you think about it. Matter of fact, Les, I read a book. Good friend of mine wrote a book here called Custom Built by God. We're all custom built by God. But in the
Mm,
book, he talked about when you greet people, how dare you not give me your best when I see you.
mm.
Ooh, I thought that was so powerful. I said, let me work on that one. So the goal is to give our best every time we greet you, Lennis, and every time we see you. And so much going on. We don't need to bring in the negative. We don't need to bring in all the troubles of the world. Give my best, Lennis, to the people out there. So, folks, we're giving you our best today. I love it. Well, with that said, Liz, one thing I ask my guests to do on Power Connections is always give us a word of encouragement, a word of from whatever you want to say, just to empower people today. But anything you want to say before we read your quick bio there and get started on this program today. This is Power Connections, guys. My wonderful guest, Ms. Lynnis Mullins.
Well, I would say that my mindset for
Yeah,
for especially the last few years of business, because I've been in business for 17 years, but
yeah,
my
yeah,
mindset within the last 5 years has been about obedience.
yeah. Oh, there
Obedience is better than sacrifice. So I would say if there is something that God
yeah,
has placed on your heart to do, and
yeah.
you're wondering, how could I possibly do this because you don't have the skills, or you're not sure how to do it, or you don't
Oh,
have the money, or you don't
yeah.
know the people, all those reasons why you can't,
Right.
just know that He would never have brought it to you
Come
if
on
He
now.
wasn't going to be
Come on now.
showing you
Come
how to
on.
do what you need to do.
Come
And
on.
I just got through going through that experience, just got
Yeah.
through going through it.
Oh, yeah.
And when I look at the end result
Yeah.
now, and I just think about how things
Yeah.
just all came
Yeah.
together to get to this
Yeah.
point, I
Yeah.
realize now that God is ultimately in control, and
Yeah.
He gives us every opportunity
Yeah.
to work in concert with Him. But you
Yeah.
have to be obedient. You have to go out there and do some things that you would think, I don't know if I can do this or not. I feel stupid doing this. Is it going to work? Whatever. You just
Wow.
have to trust Him that if
Amen.
He's done it before for you, because He has,
Yeah.
then He'll do it again. Because the
Yeah.
reality is, if you're watching this right now,
Yeah.
everything works out for you. Otherwise,
Absolutely.
you wouldn't be alive today. Okay. So everything
Absolutely.
really does work out for us.
Amen.
Sometimes maybe not in the time frame that we thought, or sometimes not in the way that we thought, but it
Yeah.
does work out. We just need to trust. So when you get that little inner voice that says you need to do such and
Yeah.
such,
I
you
love it.
got to do it. You got to be obedient, because on the other side of our fear and our doubt and all that other stuff is
Yeah.
breakthrough and abundance and
Yeah.
blessings, because He loves it when we're obedient to whatever He tells us to
Amen.
do. So that's my
Amen.
sharing.
Yeah, that's it. That got folks motivated out there. I'm sure at least one person on the planet heard that today. I love
Well,
that.
that's a good thing.
Yeah, it's a good thing. I love it. Well, thank you so much for that wonderful opening there, Linus. It's great to have you on Power Connections. That's what Power Connections is all about, guys. We bring in powerful people like Mrs. Mullins to talk about her network. Matter of fact, guys, before we say a few more words, she is a holistic and living wellness expert. We're going to be talking about that today. We're going to be talking about her publishing her book. She's also an author, so a publisher. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about her podcast. She loves to talk like me. I love it. So she talks on her podcast. And guess what, guys? We're going to talk about her new website that she shared with me earlier that she just released, and I'm excited about that. But let us, one thing I want to put a declaration on today because I had to rethink the word fear. We use that too much. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is for everybody on the planet. We use the word fear too much in the wrong text. Now, for the believer, Liz, I know you know this already. First of all, God said, I have not given you a spirit of fear. And I thought about that. I said, wait a minute. If I don't have it, why do I keep bringing it up? Okay. Now, so therefore, ladies and gentlemen, we do not have fear. Guess what we may have? We may have a lack of information, a lack of knowledge, right? And a lack of experience. That's what keeps us from doing stuff. There is nothing too hard for us to do. Now, don't get me wrong. I understand everybody's not going to be a surgeon or a doctor or a lawyer. We're not talking about that. We're talking about where things that you know you can do, but you've never tried. I say, wait
Mm,
a minute, I never even tried this. How can I be fearful of doing this when I haven't even tried it? But guess what you have to do? You have to get knowledge, right, of the thing. You got to get information, maybe experience. You may have to go to training class. You may have to get a master's or associate degree or BS degree, whatever. Guys, there's nothing you can't do. What I don't want, Liz, want people to do is to stop because they think they can't do it. That's my point here. They can do it, but you gotta guess what? You gotta get the information, right? Understand it, do your research, do your planning,
Mhm.
all the above. And guess what? Once you find out you'll do it, you'll keep doing stuff over and over again. So I want you guys to redefine. This is from Kevin Vaughan now. You redefine the word fear because there's nothing you can't do if you put your mind to it. Because, like Lynnis said, if God gave it to you, that means you can get it done. Now, you may not believe that yet, but you better start believing it because God does. And that's what we're talking about today. Oh, I love it. Matter of fact, let's talk about your wonderful website, though. We want people to see that website today. Let's go and talk about that one because that's brand spanking new. So tell us about
It's
the debut of that one.
It's brand spanking new. It is a membership website. It is
Yeah.
accumulation of about 17 years that I've been doing this
Woo.
business. I
Wow.
wanted to create a place where women could go and men can go too and take a look at all things Linus. You know, my podcast is there, my webcast is there, my blog is there,
Beautiful.
my online courses are there. But the other things, because I don't know everything, I have 16 contributors, V.I.B.E
Wow.
contributors who
Yeah.
represent over 250 years in the
Woo.
wellness and healthcare
Yeah.
business.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
are women who have been specializing in taking care of women. I have doctors on the site, as well as holistic practitioners,
Yeah.
um, alternative medicine experts, naturopaths. I also have health coaches,
Yeah.
energy healers, aromatherapists, fitness people, trainers. I mean, it's just a plethora of topics that they
Yeah.
cover.
Yeah.
And all of them are going to be doing free workshops.
Yeah.
And if you miss the workshop, if you're a member, then you can go into the replay. We have two sides of the site. One is for just the public, and the other side is for members. And the side
Mhm.
for the members is where all the juicy stuff is. It's where the
Right.
online
Right.
courses are. That's where all the replays of the workshops are going to be. That's where
Yeah.
the special events are going to be.
Beautiful.
That's where Lynnis Minutes is. Lynnis Minutes is a webcast show that I do where I give wellness information for about 5 minutes, you know, tips and things like that. But there's a lot of great information. And the focus really is to help women know that they do have a choice,
Yeah.
that there's all kinds of ways you can address your concerns, and that preventative medicine,
Hmm.
trying to do things from a preventative standpoint, is the
Yeah.
best way. And
Yeah.
just because you turn 40 or 50 or whatever doesn't mean that as you age, you have to be sick as you age. That is
Right.
not true. That's a
Right.
myth.
Right.
You're still aging, and yes, we all know how that's going to end, but you
Hmm.
can have a quality to your aging where you're still engaged, still doing things. You know, I'm 67 and I don't feel anywhere like that.
You look
I
gorgeous.
feel, well, thank you. I
Yeah.
feel good.
Yeah.
I'm taking care of myself. Does
Yeah.
it require different kinds of maintenance? Absolutely. But that's why the V.I.B.E network is there. So you can find out what other kinds of things do I need to be doing to keep myself together? Because basically, aging is all about the fact that as we get older,
Hmm.
basically the things that our body normally does for us doesn't do as much or as well. So you have to help the body out or supplement the
Right.
body by
Right.
doing maybe a different exercise regime,
Yeah. Yeah.
taking a look at supplements, maybe using herbs, finding out about other holistic practices, all with the idea of being preventative to waylay having to take pharmaceuticals or,
Yeah.
God forbid, having to get something cut off. That's
Right.
how important it is. And sometimes it's just small little incremental changes that
Right.
can make major differences. There was a report that just came out on the New York Times yesterday
Hmm.
that 10% of our population is not obese.
Mm.
10% of our population is morbidly obese.
Wow.
That means they have BMIs of like 47, 57, stuff like that.
Woo.
Unbelievable stuff. 10%.
Yeah.
That represents millions of people.
Yes.
And it doesn't have to be that way. It doesn't.
No, it doesn't.
Releasing weight doesn't have to be difficult. I have a coach on my site right now called the Undiet Coach. She
Mm.
does not believe in diets, but she
Right.
does educate you about your food, your mindset, and other things, and it works. I've seen her work with morbidly obese people. I've seen her work with people who have chronic disease. They're on
Yeah.
medications that make them, gain weight. I've seen her work with teenagers, with men. It's just amazing the work that she does. And that's just a small example of the
Yeah.
kind of people we have that have really great experience in particular niches that I thought would be attractive and important to women over 40.
Wow, I love it. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, if you're just joining us, that's Lynnis Mullins there, and we're talking about her new release website, guys. Hey, it's vibewellnesswoman.com. That's vibewellnesswoman.com. I want you guys to check it out. Not right now. I want y'all to stay here and listen to us for a little while, right? But check it out. We'll be pushing this out later as well, guys, on this platform. So you guys will see it a little later on. Guys, I want you to not only check it out, but I want you to push it out as well on your network. Hey, we're talking to Lynnis, ladies and gentlemen. She's a holistic living and wellness expert for women over 40. And also, too, she's a publisher, ladies and gentlemen, and also a podcaster. And also, it seems that she's also a master webmaster as well. That's pretty cool. On top of that,
I
I love it.
unwittingly
Yeah,
added that to my
yeah,
list. It wasn't my plan,
yeah.
but sometimes
Do
it's
what you
not
got
about
to
what your
do.
plan is.
Absolutely, we do. That's my point. Yeah, we can learn it now. If you have the time, you can learn anything, folks. You really can. You can learn a lot of stuff if you have the time. So I know sometimes we farm stuff out, which is fine just for time's sake, but there's nothing we really can't do. So first of all, Les, we're so proud of you. I'm excited. I've built websites before, but then I said, man, I can't continue to do this as a business because I just don't have the time. It's not hard to do. It's just that you got to
Takes time.
maintain it. You got to do all the above, and that's different. I don't mind doing my own. But as far as a business model, it's just not my area. But it's not hard to do, guys. Making it real what do you call it, shop, if you will, so to speak. But you can pretty much just build a website pretty easy, guys, in some platforms. So, Lennis, thank you so much, and congratulations, and thank you for letting us hear it first too here on the network.
That's right. I mean, it just launched earlier this morning. And
Yeah,
for your listeners, I just want to share with them
yeah.
that there's a special code that will give you 20% off the monthly membership
Oh, wonderful,
and 20% off the annual membership, 20% off for the first month and 20% off the total annual. And
fantastic.
there's a special code. It's called VIBE20,
Okay,
and that code's going to be on for a little while. So go ahead, and also there's
yeah,
a 7-day free trial where you can go on and take a look at it and say,
yeah.
hey, you know what? I think that, people say, oh, well, it's more money, or trying to eat healthy is expensive and all these other things. And I get it. These are interesting economic times.
Right,
But my philosophy is you either pay for it on the front end or the
yeah,
back end, but
right,
guaranteed you're going to pay for it.
yeah,
And maybe instead of going to the Starbucks or buying
right.
another or a wig, or getting a brand new suit or whatever, maybe you might want to invest a little bit
Yeah,
in
yeah,
you,
right,
so that, for instance, you no longer have a craving to go to sugar in
yeah,
Starbucks because that adds more calories. And
yeah.
maybe the hair loss you've been experiencing is because your hormones are out of balance, or you're dealing with some
Mhm.
other kind of thing
Yeah,
that you were able to figure out what it was by listening to
right.
some of the workshops and meeting
Yeah,
some of the practitioners that we have. Hair
absolutely.
loss after 40 is a real deal, especially after 50. And we have people who specialize in working with women who are going through
Yeah,
perimenopause, menopause, and one
right.
of the main offshoots of menopause is hair loss. And I
Hmm.
know that that can be prevented. And we have experts that talk about that. But of
Yeah,
course, in order to get that information and to implement it, it does require an investment. But
yeah,
when I think about the investment, it's only $22 a month for
right.
all of this expertise.
Yeah,
There's a lot there. There's blogs, podcasts, my webcasts, all the
mhm,
different courses and things. And we're putting new things on
right.
every single day. So
Fantastic.
it's worth the investment. We're talking about the quality of our lives.
Yep,
We can live a long time, and we can be sick and live a long time because medications keep us alive
right.
and all that. But is
Yeah,
that the quality of life you really want to have? I mean, at 80, I still want to be hanging out with my grandchildren, crawling around, playing with them. By that time, they'll probably be ready to go to college. But,
amen.
I want to still be able to be active and do things.
Right.
I don't want to just kind of make the assumption that after 80, something's going to be wrong and I'm going to be in a walker
Right.
or a wheelchair or
Yeah,
whatever. It
exactly.
does not have to be that way. It
That's
could, it
right.
could be the kind of way where you just got to having a fantastic day playing tennis. You're 95 years old. You go
Yep.
lie down, and then that's that.
I
You
love it.
know,
Yeah,
never any pain or any sickness. It was just your time. I'd
yeah,
much rather go that way than to, go through the painful
absolutely.
experience of being hospitalized and
Yeah.
stick and prodded and medications. I know some people who have 20, 30 medications,
Right.
taking medications for the medication because
Oh,
of the side effects.
that don't make
You
any
want
sense.
to avoid that if you can. And you're
Yeah.
talking about money.
Whew, that don't make any sense.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah,
So here's a possibility of something that can really help you. At least it
right.
will arm you with the questions to ask your practitioner. It will arm you with an awareness that there's another way to live that could be better for you. And
Hmm.
it will empower you because as you begin to make these changes, you begin to take a look at your whole life and say, wait a minute.
Right.
I started drinking like no water a day to 8 glasses a day. What else can I do? It's
Hmm.
really empowering to begin to take a look at one's life and begin to kind of chip away at it and begin to add the things that you know are going to make you healthy and are going to make you empowered and more
Yeah.
involved in your life, showing up more in your life.
Absolutely. That's powerful. I love it. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, we're talking to Lynnis Mullins about her new website and also to the holistic living and wellness expert side of her as well. Hey, while she was talking, I want to encourage everybody. You guys are business owners or professionals or really anybody, really. You need to, first of all, analyze and have a strategy. You got to have a strategy and analyze what your needs are. Okay. And that's where Lynnis comes in. Also, too, guys, you got to look at the benefits. What's the benefits of what Lynnis is sharing with you from the website? All right. You got to decide, Liz, I found out a lot of people just don't know where they're going. They don't know where to
Right.
go, where they need to go, and then they have to plug in the answers after that. So, guys, you got to have some benefits that you're looking for. What are you looking for your business or for your life, right? And last but not least, you got to understand your why. You got to understand why am I doing this, right? Whether it's an investment or information, you're going to have some results, right? So it's important that you get with Lynnis and talk about these things, guys, and be a part of this wonderful wellness movement for women over 40. I love it. I love it. That's beautiful. So,
You
guys,
know,
yeah,
what you said just reminded me of something.
yeah,
I
yeah,
have provided wellness programs for coaches, business
yeah,
coaches,
right,
because I said, business coaches are great and
right,
they really can help you if you listen and implement
yeah,
what they tell you,
yeah,
and you'll begin to make money. But here's the thing, if you're not feeling good,
right,
if you're not really doing well, if you're popping pills because you are a diabetic or taking shots because you're
yeah,
type 2 and you refuse to change your lifestyle,
hmm,
over time, that begins to take over your life in such a way that you're not really able to enjoy the fruits of your labor, or
right,
you're not making as much as you could because you're
right,
not feeling well.
right,
So the wellness is more than just an investment in yourself, it's an investment in your business,
right,
because there's no way that you can
yeah,
continue to grow your business, show up in your business every day, be excited and empowered and inspirational and
yeah,
talking about your business if you got high blood pressure, if you're overweight, if your cholesterol is high, if you're afraid you might have another stroke, if you're dealing with chronic disease like, heart disease, which is very common with Black
yeah.
people. The number one killer for women, heart disease, not breast cancer, it's
Wow,
heart disease. And
wow,
this can be prevented by
yes,
making lifestyle changes. So just real talk. It's just real talk. It's great to
yeah,
have a great business coach, but you also want to make
mhm,
sure that how you take care of your business is how
yeah.
you should also be taking care of yourself.
Oh, I love it. Matter of fact, let's go ahead and do a commercial break here real quick. Somebody says I need to talk to you right after the show. What's the best way to get in touch with you nowadays?
Well, they can reach me through the site, but I can give you my direct email address. It's Lynnis at vibewellnesswoman.com.
There it is. That's the way you spell Linus right there, guys. Is
Right.
right
That's it. Yeah. There you
there
go.
you go. I love it. That's great. Well, thank you so much for that. Hey, guys, the website is vibewellnesswoman.com, vibewellnesswoman.com. That's the new website. I want everybody on the planet that sees this to check it out, right? Check it out first. Set up an appointment with her, and then secondly, you guys need to push that out on your platforms. I know. I think I got like 300 or 400 women on one email, so I'm gonna make sure they get it this week as well.
Fantastic.
Yeah, so
Fantastic.
that's
Make
really
sure you
exciting.
include that code too.
Absolutely. So they'll hear that on this from this today. So that's wonderful. Hey, let's go to do you have how many books? You're a public, excuse me, you are also an author, is that correct?
Yes, actually I have been a co-author for two books, and
Yeah,
I published a magazine for about
yeah,
5 years. I retired
yeah,
it because I kind of changed my branding a little bit, but that's
right.
coming back. The
Yeah,
name of the magazine was Wellness Woman 40 and Beyond.
yeah,
I did it for 5 years, but that's coming back. I was just telling my husband the other day, I said, you know what?
yeah,
I think I'm going to bring the magazine back, but
right.
make it the
Yeah,
vibe, the
yeah,
vibe probably, or
yeah,
something like that.
absolutely.
So it's
Yeah.
coming back. I have to tell you that the reason why I began to change my messaging,
Uh-huh.
it wasn't so much the information that I was sharing, but how I was sharing it,
Yes.
because I got the sense that what women really want to feel as they begin to grow older, that they're still relevant. I've heard
Oh,
so many women refer to
yeah,
themselves as feeling invisible.
right.
And it's funny because I know what they
Yeah,
mean. From time to time, I'm
right.
filling out
Yeah,
something, and
yeah,
how you have these categories for age. And
Yep.
then
Yep.
and then it just says 60 plus, and I'm like,
Right.
okay, well,
Yeah. What the
I'm
world saying.
67. Where am I?
Yeah. What the
But
world says. Yeah.
right, but
Exactly.
that's society, but that doesn't have to
Yeah.
be you. You don't have to adopt that.
That's
If you're
right.
feeling good about yourself, then you
Yeah.
can present yourself as vibrant.
Amen.
The whole VIBE acronym
Yeah.
stands for what I feel every midlife woman should be: vibrant, intuitive,
Yeah.
beautiful, and empowered. If
Yeah.
you are covering those things, then that helps you to be able to move forward in your life. And
Absolutely.
I really feel that most women, because of how society is with women who are aging,
Hmm.
sometimes we feel maybe unappreciated, taken
Yeah.
for granted, not recognized. Well, you know what? We have to learn to appreciate ourselves, be inner directed.
Yeah.
Stop looking from that from the outside and start doing the work that you need to do on the inside so that your beauty and your confidence and your vibrancy radiates out. And
Absolutely.
as you begin doing that, then you begin to start feeling better and more empowered about dropping the unwanted pounds and inches, about
Hmm.
talking to the doctor about the hot flashes and all the other things that happen with, hormones, about choosing better foods to eat, about definitely putting more movement in your regime, and maybe instead of putting down the remote, picking up the jump rope or something, or the
Right.
basketball or the
Exactly.
pickleball or whatever it is you're
Yeah.
doing. There's
Yeah.
so many things we can still do.
Yes.
Just because we've turned 50 doesn't mean that it
Nope.
stops. And you know what? The other thing is too that these days with cosmetics and all the other stuff, women can look a lot younger than they are. But it's not
Right.
what you look like, it's what your
Right.
health is like. Because
Right.
inevitably,
Yes.
whatever's going on with your health is going to inevitably come out eventually.
Yep.
I mean, you can
Absolutely.
only put so much makeup on, you can only do so much surgery. I know you've seen some of these women who've had plastic surgery. After a while, you're like, whoa, too
Yeah.
much.
You can tell.
Reality is,
Yeah.
you cannot, there's no such thing as um, you can slow the aging process, but you really can't reverse it.
Hmm.
It's going to happen.
Right.
I got wrinkles, I've got things going on, but what I do know also that the inside of my body, in terms of how it works, according to my doctors,
Right.
I'm like about 40 years old on the
Right.
inside. I
Yeah.
may not look 40 years old on the outside, but on the inside, and that's what counts, is what's
Yeah. It
going
does.
on with your body on the inside. And
That's
also, one
right.
other thing I wanted to say, extremely important to take a look what's going on with our mental health,
Yes.
because our mental health, our
Yeah. Very
emotional
important.
health
Yep.
really can make a major difference in terms of how,
Yep.
all of our body works, because the body keeps a score. The
Yeah.
body keeps a score of all your trauma, all
Right.
the stress, all of that.
Yep.
And you may be looking fabulous, but on the inside, you're a heart attack waiting to happen. You're one step away from a stroke or whatever the
Right.
situation is.
Yep.
Many times when they go to autopsies and people who have died that, were young and they don't know why they died, they do an
Right.
autopsy and the doctor's
Right.
like, wow, it could have been this, this,
Right.
this, this.
Right.
Obviously, person didn't know, maybe because they
Yeah.
hadn't gone to the doctor or the doctor didn't do a good job. It's hard to tell.
Right.
But the thing is that you need to know what's going on with your health,
Right.
address it, and then
Yep.
how you look on the outside will be even better because you're healthy.
Yep. Amen. I love it, Lynnis. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, if you're just joining us, this is Power Connections with Kevin Vaughan and my wonderful guest, Lynnis Mullins. We're talking about her wonderful holistic living and wellness background that she has and services. We're also talking about her new website, guys, vibewellnesswoman.com. VibeWellnessWoman.com. Guys, that is so powerful and so excited for her as well. Liz, also tune out on the website. Can they get to your podcast too there? Is that a separate?
Yes, everything is
Wow.
there. I want it to be
That's,
a one-stop shop,
yeah,
so
that's
the podcast
wonderful.
is there.
Yeah,
I
y'all hear
just
that?
I just posted one yesterday.
Yeah.
I interviewed someone who is vision impaired, but
Wow.
she didn't let that stop her from opening up a business as an entrepreneur.
Wow.
Yes,
Wow.
and so she
Wow.
has a powerful story. There's so much great information on there.
Yeah.
It's only about 30 minutes or so, and my whole idea is to just open people's eyes
Yeah.
to the possibilities of things they
Yeah.
can do. So it's all about mind, body, spirit, wellness, and ways to
Yeah.
vibe, to be more vibrant, intuitive, beautiful, and empowered. And the
Uh,
website's doing great. We're in the upper
yeah.
10% globally. I just
Yeah.
got that from the Listen Notes website. Yeah,
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
rank the podcast and all that.
Right.
Now there's 3 million something podcasts out there. So if I'm in the
Right.
upper top 10%, I could be like number 299,000, but that's okay.
It's okay.
I'll
It's
take it.
okay. It's all right. It's all good. I love it. Hey guys, we're talking to Lynnis, excuse me, Mullins about her wellness and a new website, guys, and wholeness living wellness for women over 40. And she's also a podcaster. But guess what, guys? Everything is a one-stop shop. You can go to vibewellnesswoman.com. I love it. Everything's one place. You have to go through 5 different places, right? Go to one stop.
No, everything's there. My social
Yeah,
media is there. The podcast is there. The blog is there. The classes that
yeah,
I offer are
powerful.
there. And my compatriots, my
Yeah,
contributors, women who
yeah,
I've collaborated with, worked with, and who
yeah,
I've been a client of because, wellness people have wellness people, or at least they should.
yeah,
So, yeah,
yeah.
all of that.
Exactly. I love that, Liz. That's great. Liz, I wanted to ask you for the audience as well, and for me, is what is your mission? What's your mission, sis?
Well, it's interesting. My mission has always been the same to provide education and programs and training for women.
Yeah,
Um, to help them with their mind, body, and spirit
beautiful.
as they
Yeah,
age.
yeah,
But initially, my mission was to heal myself. My other life, before I started doing this, I was in corporate America for
yeah,
25 years.
right.
And I was in human resources. I was a
Yeah,
human resource executive. And
yeah,
along the way, I had developed an anxiety disorder. And remember, I told you the body keeps the score, right?
right,
Well, a
right.
couple of things about anxiety. Anxiety can come from something that's happened. It doesn't always have to be like, bleeding or you were in a war or any of that kind of
Right,
stuff. It can be something that affects you deeply and you push it back, push it back, push it back, and then you begin to have certain symptoms. And
yeah,
anxiety is one of the symptoms of post-traumatic stress, which is what I had, although I didn't know that at the time. I had
right.
an event one day before it was time for me to go to work. I started crying, couldn't stop, didn't know what was wrong. My
Wow,
husband
wow.
was concerned. So they
Yeah,
took me to
wow,
emergency, which was in the hospital where I worked. It was kind of embarrassing. But by the time I talked with the ED doc and the psychologist and the psychiatrist.
yeah,
Then the hospital administrator came down. They all came and they kind of did an intervention. They like, Lynnis, you need to take some time off. You're
right.
exhausted. You need to take some time. So
Yeah,
I did. I took a week off, went to a sabbatical for 1 week. And when it was time for me to go back, I realized I need more time because I
right.
still was having anxiety first thing in the morning. It felt like I was going straight downhill on a roller coaster with no restraints.
Wow,
It was
wow.
crazy.
Yeah,
So I asked if I could take a sabbatical for a year and
right,
get well and
right,
go back to school and maybe get my second master's in something, right?
right.
That was my intent. But when it was time, what I did was I did start taking classes, but having nothing to do with human resources. I started taking all these wellness classes
Yeah,
and started talking to people, reading books, and trying some of these things to try to help me. And I began to feel better. And I said, you know what? So much of this information that I got, it's
yeah,
people don't even know to look for it. It's
right.
just not out there.
Oh,
And,
no,
and
not
back then,
readily
this was in
available. It's
2008.
available, but not ready available.
Right. Back in
Yeah,
2008, it wasn't. I mean,
yeah,
I didn't even know what social media was. I didn't
right,
know I knew what a website was, but I
right,
never thought about building my own, none of that.
right.
So when I decided that I wasn't going to go back to work, I decided that what I wanted to do was to help women by teaching them dance. Because in my other life before corporate America, I was a ballet dancer for many years,
Uh,
professional dancer. Yeah.
I know you was
And
beautiful, ballet dancer. I know you was
yeah,
beautiful.
that was a long time ago, but I was. In
Yeah,
fact, I danced up until I was 62, and then I
yeah.
hung up my shoes forever. But anyway,
Praise God.
I thought I certainly have the experience and the accreditation to teach dance. I'm gonna open up a dance studio in an inner city area, and I'm going to teach women over 40 and get some other instructors with other genres, right? So I
Yes.
did that. But there were so many other things that were going on with them that dance wasn't going to fix. I had people who had diabetes, cancer, heart disease, empty nest syndrome, depression, all that. And
Yeah.
so that's when I decided I need to do something else. And so that's where Praiseworks, which was what the name of the dance studio was,
Yeah.
became Praiseworks Health and Wellness. That's
Yeah.
the
That's
name of my
wonderful.
company. And
Yeah.
so then I began putting together programs that I thought could be helpful. One thing led to another. I went from zero to well over 150,000 followers on the internet. I
Yeah.
learned so much. And
Yeah.
I started this business at 51, right
Yeah.
at the time when people were beginning to plan their retirement. I walked away from a six-figure salary, all of that, because I knew that if I stayed on with that by the time I did retire, I would look my age. I think that not having that corporate stress and
Yes.
dealing with the imposter syndrome every day, always feeling like, any day somebody's going to walk in and fire me, not because I wasn't doing a good job, but I
Mhm.
just felt the stress of being the
Right.
only Black person all the time, the only woman all the time, the youngest
Right.
one all the time, all of that.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
just let all of that go and walked out by faith. And it
Wow.
might have taken a little while, but 17 years later, I can say that I have joy every day, pretty
Yeah.
much peace every day, because it's just a mindset.
Yeah.
And part of it is because I'm older and I know that this too shall pass. I have the life experience to know I can survive just about anything if it's God's will for me to survive. But
Yeah.
more than that, I just think that I stumbled into, it feels like, but not really, because God told me this. He told me what it was I was going to be doing.
Right.
And I'm like, how can I do that? Because I don't know anything about wellness.
Right.
All this stuff.
But you
And
can
I thought,
learn.
yeah, right. I thought I would be doing it in person. He says, no, you can do it on the internet. I'm like, what? How
Yeah.
can I do? And then educating and waiting for people to catch on, women, that of the idea of buying a service from someone that they've never met before. I used to do a video with long instructions on how to get women on Zoom so they could talk to me. And meanwhile, guys like, okay, that's fine, but you know what? I have an answer for that. And pretty soon everybody's going to be on. I'm like, yeah, right. And what
Right.
happened? Out of something bad came something good. The pandemic happened, but what
Right.
it did do is it put people who normally weren't online online. They had no choice to
That's right.
be able to connect with each other and
That's
expand
right.
their networks. And I
Yep.
was right there, had been for, what, 15
Yeah.
years, 13
That's a
years,
good
whatever.
pivot. That was a good
Yeah.
pivot, Lynnis.
So that's why I'm saying that,
Yeah.
consistency is key, but
Yeah.
obedience is the master. Because if he's giving you something to do, then he's going to find a way. He will find a way to make sure you're okay
Yeah.
while you're going through that process. I mean, I did lose
Yeah.
my home, my cars. I'm okay.
Yeah.
I eventually replaced that six-figure salary. But I think the main thing is that my intention always was to get women excited about the
Right.
idea of taking responsibility for their own wellness, to
Yeah.
not show up in doctors' offices and lie down and say, okay, what's wrong with me? To come prepared and with ideas. And I always say that if your doctor is not feeling good about that approach with you asking questions and asking, what about this? What about that? You just need to find another doctor.
Yeah.
Because, I mean,
Yeah.
this is 2024. We are responsible for our own lives. They are there to aid us, but they work for you, not the other way around. So I wanted to be able to talk to women about that and to help them understand that what they're experiencing, they're not alone. Because that's the other thing. There's not a whole lot of talk among women and in general society about what really happens about
Mhm.
menopause,
Mhm.
what
Mhm.
really happens. And it doesn't just impact women, it
Right.
impacts their relationships,
Yeah.
their families, the
Yeah.
work, all of that.
Yeah.
And some people, some women, husbands and wives, are totally unprepared
Right.
of, like
Yeah.
it's
We're
like
not
getting
taught. Yeah. Just
deer in
not
the
taught.
headlights, deer in the headlights. You
Yep.
hear about PMS and things like that, but the menopause thing is almost talked about,
Right.
behind closed doors and whispers. I don't know
Yeah.
why. So I wanted to blow the lid off of that.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
part of life, and it
Right.
can be a great
Yeah.
part
You
of
gotta know
life.
how to navigate it. That's right. That's exactly right.
Right. You just need the
Yeah.
tools to navigate it. And so
Yeah.
that's my mission, is to give women
Yeah.
the tools to navigate their wellness in such a way where they don't miss a beat as they
Yeah.
age. They keep doing
Oh,
the
I
things
love
they
it.
want to do.
Fantastic, Lynnis. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, all across the globe, we're talking to Lynnis Woods-Mullins on Power Connections with Kevin Vaughan. Hey, her new website, guys, she's launched today, is vibewellnesswoman.com. Thank you so much for that opportunity there, Lynnis, to be able to talk about that the first day or within hours, actually. It looks
Yeah,
like,
within
yeah,
hours. Yeah,
that's pretty good. That's
absolutely. You're
pretty
on the
good.
cutting edge, Kevin.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. So, vibewellnesswomen.com. You guys will be seeing more of that from this platform on the MLT network. So, we're excited about that as well. Hey, matter of fact, Liz, what you was talking is about 4 billion women on the planet. So, we want at least half of them to see this today as soon as possible.
Absolutely,
I love it. I love
absolutely.
it. Hey, just give us some final thoughts there. We got to get ready to roll out of here, Liz. Time flies when you're having fun. But any call to action and final thoughts before we keep it moving on Power Connections? Lennis, thank you so much.
Oh, absolutely. First of all, Kevin, thank you so much for
Absolutely.
inviting me. It's been a great opportunity. I'm sure I'm going to get a chance to meet people who I would never have met before had it not been for
I sure
you.
hope so.
Shout
Yeah.
out also to the Black Achievers Network. That's how I found you. So thank you.
Yeah.
But I do want to say something about what's going on as we're going into this election year and all the craziness and feeling like we're living
Yeah.
in the upside down.
Yes, ma'am.
Like this is like altered states, like a bad B movie. We
Yeah.
want to do what's necessary. You know how it talks about putting on the full armor of God?
Right.
Well, wellness is a form of that. You
Right.
want to more than ever take care of yourself. So, take a look at your relationships. Who are the energy zappers? Who are the
Right.
toxic people who are always negative? You may
Right.
love them, they love you, but you don't need to be talking with them all the time.
Mhm.
Find your vibe tribe. Those group of people that support you, that you guys are on the same track. And I believe God puts people in your life for a reason, for a season, and you have different levels of friendship. So don't feel like you have to keep relationships going that are sucking the mess out of you, especially if you're an entrepreneur. But make sure that you do the things to protect your
Right.
peace and
Right.
to protect your joy. It's all
Yeah.
about your mindset and what you choose to focus on.
Yeah.
If the things that are going on with the politics and everything else, and the environment and all the other wars and things like that, it's not that I'm not preaching toxic positivity. You do need to be aware, but you don't
Right.
have to ponder. Prayer
Right.
is a powerful thing. You pray and then you go and start focusing on what's working in your life. So
Yeah.
my message to you is, one of the epitomes of wellness is controlling your mindset. You can't
Yeah.
control what's going on around you necessarily,
Right.
but you
Right.
can control the things that you think about and ponder on. And you want to think of those things that uplift you, that give you a sense of peace and joy, and that lead, guide, and direct you in whatever your intentions are that you've set for the day.
Oh, I love it, Liz. Thank you so much.
You're
Thank you so
welcome.
much for
Thank you.
sharing that today with us as well. Hey guys, I've been talking to Lynnis Woods-Mullins about her new website, guys, V.I.B.E.wellnesswoman.com. It's all there. Once again, V.I.B.E.wellnesswoman.com. I'm gonna put it out there because I believe if you speak it, it will happen. I want 1,000 women to contact Lynnis.
Yes,
1,000 women between
a
now and
thousand
Christmas
women.
time. Between now and Christmas time, I
And
want them to
1,000
contact
women.
you.
Yep, 1,000 women will definitely meet my goal. So thank you so much for
Absolutely.
calling it
Yeah,
out
we're gonna
there.
put it out there because if they just share it, if y'all just share it when you see this, just share it with another. I mean, you can do that in a month or less. Actually, a couple of days you can do that. It's actually really easy. So guys,
Okay, show me how.
yeah, exactly. It's all about collaboration, guys. It's all
Yes.
about sharing. And want you guys to use social media, guys. Use social media. Just on LinkedIn, I think I got 30,000 on LinkedIn. And then on TikTok, about 2,000, 2,000 or 3,000 there, and growing as we speak. So I know it's going to grow some more when we put this on there, Lynnis, too.
That's great. Yeah,
Yeah.
social media is a great tool. I've got a group of women of over 25,000 on Facebook, and 25,000 on Instagram.
Exactly.
LinkedIn only 6,000, so I got to work on that.
Yeah, we're going to get there. We're going to get there, guys, because they're going to hear more about it. Hey, once again, guys, my special guest today, Lynnis Woods-Mullins. Her wonderful website launched today, V.I.B.E.wellnesswoman.com, V.I.B.E.wellnesswoman.com. Check it out, guys, and push it out on your platform as well. Hey, Lynnis, hold on. We're going to close this thing out here. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to always, we'll leave you with this today, always remember to outlove, outserve, and outforgive each other. And remember, there's nothing you can't do. I love it. I love it. We're so excited about you guys today. Hey, guys, I want you guys to share this out because you never know the words that Lynnis shared today that will touch another life. You just never know. So I want you guys to check it out too, but also share this out, this wonderful video and interview as part of the Power Connection series with Kevin Vaughan. So we thank you in advance. Again, push this out. It's all about network. Matter of fact, I think, if I'm not mistaken, there's about 6 billion people on the internet right now doing something. 6 billion. There's only 9 billion or 8 billion on the planet. So it tells you something, right? So we got to go where the people are, folks. We go where the people are. They are online. So we're excited about those listening live right now. And all my followers, I want you guys to share this out so they can get that information about Lynnis's wonderful background. She's a holistic living and wellness expert, ladies and gentlemen. She's also a producer. She's also a podcaster, ladies and gentlemen, and an author as well. So we're just so excited, Lynnis, about you doing it, being who you are. Thank you so much for being who you are.
Thank you. Thank you. Goodbye, everybody. Don't
Amen.
forget to vibe. Bye-bye.
That's right. Hey, guys, we'll see you a little later on. And Lynnis, you're always welcome. So if you got some new changes, new updates, come back on for 5 minutes, 15 minutes, whatever we got to do to make sure that people know about what you're doing with the V.I.B.E.wellnesswoman.com. I love it. I love it. All right, guys. Hey, we got to go. Appreciate you guys so much, guys, and take care of yourself. Hey, enjoy the moments today. Enjoy today, and also have a great rest of the week. And we look forward to having you back. And thank you for your support, guys, as we talk about the powerful time on Power Connections with Kevin Vaughan and my wonderful guest, Lynnis Woods-Mullins. Lynnis, thank you so much again. God bless you.
Bye-bye.
Amen.
God bless.
All right, take care, everybody. Thank you so much, everybody. We'll see you. Bye-bye.